Yeah, so this is really just a demo of Blockusign and how it works with Pangolin, which is our Chrome extension wallet. So what you see here, Blockusign, really it's a proof of concept that we put together to demonstrate the use case of cryptographically signing documents and then storing the proof of the signature on a blockchain. Okay. And we've been developing Pangolin for probably the last month and a bit. And so doing this proof of concept of Blockusign has also allowed us to come up with a real world use case for Pangolin outside of like just simple things of sending and receiving sys or alias management. And what it also does is it's kind of like a proof of concept for like the use case of third-party developers wanting to build blockchain applications, web-based blockchain applications, and leverage the blockchain connectivity of Pangolin to do so. So I'll kind of touch on all three of those things. So actually, let me back up the train here. I'm just going to uninstall Pangolin and just kind of start from scratch. Okay, so currently Pangolin's in the Chrome Web Store, but it's only open to test accounts. So right now it's just open to Blockchain Foundry employees. So I'm just going to go and install it. You add it like any other extension. It's going to show up with this beautiful logo that we worked for weeks on. Okay, so when you start Pangolin, I'll also open it here. It's going to, right now we don't have any of the copy for Pangolin yet. So as soon as you come in, it's going to have some like welcome text, kind of explaining what Pangolin is, why it's the greatest thing ever. Then you go to a terms of service that you're going to have to accept. It'll absolve us of any liability, hopefully. Once it's accepted, now you're able to use Pangolin. So you can either create a new wallet, and it's going to ask you for a password. And this is just a password to encrypt your wallet. Your wallet's stored locally. It doesn't get sent to any server or anything like that. It's stored in the browser's local storage as an encrypted string. Okay, so you can go create a new wallet if you want. It'll just use auto-generated mnemonic, and it creates a HD wallet for you. Okay, and let me get out of here. I'm going to import an existing wallet, one that has sys. If you want to import your Syscoin wallet, you can do so. You just have to run dump HD info in the console. It'll spit out a 24-word mnemonic, and you'll just simply stick that in here. Again, your password can be anything. Because the wallet is stored locally on your machine, we didn't want to, at this stage, put any password complexity requirements around it because we felt like the risk of someone trying to brute force your password is pretty low. They would have to gain access to your machine and then start brute forcing it. So we felt the convenience of not having any password complexity outweighed the risk of someone trying to brute force your wallet. Okay, but if you want to put a super duper complex one, go for it. I'm just going to put the letter A. Okay. All right. So I've got a coworker of mine, Dimitri's wallet. So when you import your wallet from Syscoin, if you have aliases associated with the wallet addresses, it'll pull it all in. It'll pull in your transactions and whatnot. Okay. So now that I've got a wallet, I am ready to start signing documents. So why would you want to use a blockchain-based signing solution over like a traditional like DocuSign type thing? Well, it's because no one owns the proof of that signature. It's not tied to one company's servers. The proof of the signature is out there on the blockchain. and anyone can check if they have a copy of the document that you signed. So if you have a copy of the PDF that someone has signed, you can go either sign the document yourself or check the signatures on that document without actually having to rely on any other application. Like, you don't have to rely on Blockusign to sign and verify the signatures, although something like Blockusign just presents a nice user interface to do so. So, I mean, that's really a huge advantage over something like DocuSign, where you're dependent on their software, and the existence of the signature, well, it depends on their infrastructure. Okay, so I will go and select the document. So I'm going to say, I'm going to sign a document. I will pick a PDF here. We have a bunch pre-canned. Okay, so this is some loan agreement between James and Dan, and then it's witnessed by Mark. Okay, so I've read over this loan agreement. I like it. I want to go sign it. So I'm going to click sign as Dan. And this, for some reason. Oh, geez. My apologies, guys. What is that saying? Hang on one more time. Let's try this again. Okay. There we go. Sometimes if you, I'll touch on this later about how you can interact with Pangolin through a web app. But because I was reinstalling the extension, but did not refresh Blockusign, that's what that error was about. The current state of development, we don't have the greatest error handling yet. We've been kind of, been full steam ahead working to get this demo up and running. So right now it's happy path only, and we'll be adding exception handling soon. So this thing comes up and it says, do you want to sign this as Dan? This is touching on the Syscoin aliases. So if you're going to sign something, you can't be anonymous. It's kind of like antithetical to signing something. So the alias and the identity layer on Syscoin really works well with document signing on a blockchain, because you're identified. You're not just some random wallet address. Okay, so whatever alias you have currently in Pangolin, that's what you're going to be signing the document as. And we don't have this yet, but if I had multiple aliases in Pangolin, if I'm switching between them, then Blockusign here can establish a socket connection to Pangolin, and Pangolin can push messages out to it and say, hey, the guys changed aliases. So then all of the user interface on Blockusign can update. So instead of saying sign as Dan, it would say like sign as Jim. Okay, so I'm just going to say, yep, I want to sign. So I click sign as Dan. Immediately it says you're signed. Okay, and at this point, my job's done. I can walk away. The document is effectively signed. But what you see here is this ledgering signature thing. So I just sent a transaction out to the blockchain, and now this thing here is waiting for confirmation of that signature. Okay? So it's got to wait the block time. And in the meantime, Brad, if you don't mind signing this document, it was loan agreement A right here, and sign it as either James or Mark. So Brad has a copy of this PDF, and he's actually going to sign it outside of Blockusign. Okay, so he's going to pretend that he's either the lender or the witness. We're eventually going to want 3 signatures on this document. Yeah, it's interesting too, building web apps on the blockchain. I don't know how many people have done it here, but it really sort of like the interaction with the blockchain kind of makes you think a bit different about UX. Because you can see here, it's not like, an AJAX call these days, they're near instantaneous. So any asynchronous call is pretty quick, and it's easy to design UX for it. With the blockchain, depending what blockchain you're working on, especially, you got to design around block times. And so it's an interesting user experience.
I'm pretty sure everybody wants to ask, could ZDEG speed this up a bit?
That I don't know. I'd have to talk to Jag about that. The current implementation, no, because we're actually just using straight up transactions.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think a lot of this would come down to what I was talking about designing better UX. So right now we just have this ledgering signature thing, but you know, you could very easily have some type of copy here that explains to the person, you can walk away, you don't have to wait. Oh, there we go. Okay. Okay. So you can see here, it says, okay, signature ledger. And then it shows up here as being signed by me. So that's signed by my alias. That's my wallet address. And then it says it's verified by Syscoin. And all this is just showing you, here's the transaction of your signature. Okay. So if I click this, I can go to a Block Explorer and I can see that, yep, that's my wallet address. This is the address of the document, and then the amount I've sent to the document. And I'll explain a bit what I mean by all this in a second. And immediately you can see that, hey, I've signed this already. Okay, so it's pulling the proof of signatures of this specific document from the blockchain. Okay, and I'll show you. So I've got an exact copy of this document here. Visually, they're the exact same, right? But I've made an invisible change to this document that you can't see. But to Blockusign, it's a completely different agreement. Okay, so once you sign a document, if anyone tampers with it, they change one pixel, they do anything to it, it's considered a completely different document. Okay, so you can't sign a document and then have someone change it on you. You know, have someone change the loan amount here. It'll invalidate all the signatures. Okay, there we go. So I can see that for that document that both Mark and James have signed it. I can see the exact transactions where they have signed it. So now we've all cryptographically signed this PDF. The proof is out there on the blockchain for anyone to verify who signed it. So I could send this specific document to anyone on this call, and you could either sign it yourself. Very simply, all it is we take a SHA-256 hash of this PDF document, which effectively serves as a private key for the document. And then from there, we can derive a blockchain address for this document. Okay. And then if you want to sign it, signing is simply sending a transaction from your wallet address to this document's address. So you just send dust. Like you can see right now, it's 0.0004 sys. So at the current cost of sys, it's effectively free to sign documents. Okay, so that's kind of how it works. And the benefit of that is that you can take this document outside of Blockusign. You're not reliant on anyone, any company to either sign the documents or verify signatures on documents. You can do it all in the command line if you so want.